Hello. Hello, friends. Happy Monday. I am joining you to paint the cute beehive tags, the Be Happy. So as you're able to hop on, say hi, let me know what you're doing. Hi, Cara. And I'm going to try and get comments up here real quick. So, the Beehive tags are part of the Beehive collection that's available on our website. And if you didn't catch us last week, we painted the tiered tray portion of this kit. Well, that you can buy them separately, and I should say that. You can purchase the kit separately. They're also part of a collection where if you buy all three, you do get a discount. So let me just make sure I'm pointed out right here. There we go. Feel like I was a little bit off there. Hello, hello, welcome. So I painted this last week, and I'm going to paint the tags to match. So I've got my yellows, my teal, and my brown. So I'm using I'll get this off here. I've got a territorial beige, a king's gold, and which teal did I use? Hopefully I remember. I don't think I used that one. I think I used blue guana, yeah, a darker teal. So I used that. And then I also have black and white here. And I'll pull out my gold. Where's my gold? There it is. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to paint them yet, but we're going to figure it out as we go. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to shout them out. I love hearing new ideas on how to finish these kits. So my initial thought was to create like a tea towel design where you have your stripes running along the bottom and then maybe one stripe along the side. But with all of this fun bee pathing, I'm not sure if that would look all that great. So I'm kind of undecided on that. I think I'm going to start by painting them both white. I think I know I want them both to be white, and then I'll throw a design on them as we go. Although, do I do one white and one brown? So let me just bring out this here real quick. So this is what we've got. I was thinking if I did them white and then did a yellow and teal stripe and maybe do this one brown, do one white and one brown. This one's got a lot happening with the word happy, so maybe this one, let's just give it a try. We're gonna do it. Let me know how your Monday's going. I don't know if I'm gonna need tape. Well, I'll tape my little washers down. What is on your Monday agenda? So if you're new to my page, my name's Birdie, and I run Redbird Designs, which is a small business that we run from our home. And we do DIY kits to help you get creative. And then locally, we also host parties occasionally. So that's me. Tell me about you. And so our shop is Redbird Designs. The link is in the bio if you're joining us from Facebook. Or the link is in the description, I should say. I get my terminology mixed up between Facebook and TikTok, but hopefully you guys can make sense of my ramblings. Our shop is listed in the bio from TikTok, and then I did list a link to this specific kit in the description on Facebook. So if you're interested in it, you can head over there. Oh, thanks, Cara. That's so sweet of you. It's so fun to make connections through the social platforms. Definitely. And although we've never met in person, when I see you pop on, it's just like, oh, there's Cara. I know her. All right. So this one is going to be white. I am going to need a second coat on this. White typically does require a couple coats to get a good solid white. But you could also just do a stained finish. And kind of do a whitewash with some baby wipes. I've done that. That's always fun and quick. Sometimes I decide the finish I am going to put on my piece by the amount of time I have. Sometimes you don't have all that time to be crafting, and something quick is always nice. So I am going to use the baby white method with this territorial beige, so I'll show you that. But I do want to let you know before I forget that we do have 2 kits that just went on sale today under Fallon's Favorites. And so those are added to the website. They are on our main page, and they're featured right there. But every Monday, Fallon's going to pick a 2 new kits to go on sale. So you'll get access to those, and they are 30% off, and that lasts until Sunday. So if you have your eye on a kit, go check out her featured items and see if that is something that was one you've been eyeing lately. I know one of them is an interchangeable. And those are always just a fun kit because you can kind of, you don't have to sit down and paint the whole thing right away. You can do it in spurts, quarterly even. Although I think the one that she picked is kind of a mini interchangeable. And I always love painting those little mini pieces for an interchangeable. They're so fun. So this baby wipe method is really handy in creating this faux stain look. I just dab the paint on the baby wipe and then wipe it on. The baby wipe helps really spread that paint around because it's wet. And we can still see that lovely wood grain peeking through. And if you get too much and you want to lighten it up before it dries, you can just take a clean baby wipe and kind of just pull some of that paint up and even lighten it up even more. Just revealing that pretty wood grain underneath. So you can see how I'm just kind of pulling up even more of that paint pigment. And lightening it up. So here's the deal. You know, I should have looked at the path of this because I could, and I still can. I wanted to do that stripe, kind of like a tea towel where we stripe along the bottom and then a couple stripes along the side. But this has this bee path that might get lost in that, but I think I'm still going to go with it. I think it's going to be cute, so we're going to give it a shot. All right, I'm going to let those dry, and then I'm going to paint my letters next. So do I want happy here? I think I'm going to do happy here. And let's do happy and gold. So this is a King's Gold, which is a little bit darker than a regular yellow. It's not quite a mustard yellow, but almost. It's more of a gold. And it's one of my favorite yellows. And it's the yellow I used in this kit for all the pieces. Okay. The other thing I just want to quickly mention as well is we did schedule our Thursday craft and chat in our crafty living group. And we are continuing on with the bee theme. So we are going to be creating a little honey pot from a Dollar Tree jar. I pulled out my chalk paint for that. I like to use chalk paint on glass just because I feel it's a little more durable. So we'll be doing that on Thursday, and typically I go live on Thursday at 1 o'clock, but we are going to be traveling that afternoon, so I pushed it up to 12. So make note of that. If you were going to join us on Thursday, it is at 12 Mountain Central Time, not 1 o'clock. But I'd love to have you join us. You can join. I'll go live both on TikTok and Facebook. And even if you aren't creating a honeybee, grab whatever project you have on your desk and just use that time to join me in some crafting. I would really love to eventually get to the point that we do like a group chat in Facebook. Or I shouldn't say it's not a group chat, it's I always forget what Facebook calls it. A room? Is it a room? And it allows everyone to kind of speak, and you don't have to type it out to try and communicate. And you can have your video on or off. But I think that would be super fun to have a crafting time. I always love crafting with others. It's fun to craft alone and have that alone time, but it's also fun to craft with others and visit and to bounce ideas off each other. Okay. So I use really light coats on these, and I'll have to put a second coat on that, but that way it dries fast and I have a nice smooth finish if I don't get too carried away with the paint. Okay, so for this guy, I'm going to do black. And maybe do these little stripes yellow, which means I'm going to need a brush. I'm going to get a liner brush out. And just a small round here. And I'm going to start by just going around those stripes. And then I can get a little bit more loose and messy with my brush strokes. So if you're joining from Facebook, make sure to head over to the Crafty Living group on Thursday at noon to do a little lunchtime crafting. I have about I would say two more bee projects that I want to do with you guys before we move on to 4th of July. I know I have a ton of ideas for 4th of July as well, but I'm just really loving bees right now. They're so fun. Okay, we got through the hard part. And then we're just going to do the rest black. I feel like I have a ton of announcements for you guys. We're also hosting a live surplus spring sale on Wednesday at 7. So if you're interested in some made or finished round signs, we also are going to have some tags and some menu boards. We are going to be live here on Facebook at 7 o'clock. These are just surplus items from the spring bazaar we did a month ago. So we've got to clear those out to make room for other stuff. So we're going to have some great deals and some fun games. My husband joins me on those lives and he loves to do trivia questions. So whoever answers the trivia question first typically gets a bigger discount. But that's probably his favorite part. And you really could get super detailed on this bee. You could, have a lot of fun adding, more color to it and more texture and all of that. And that's what I love about these kits is it's whatever you want, however you feel like painting that day. and just to really have fun with it. Whether you're short on time and are just squeezing some crafting time in, or you have more time and want to get detailed with it. Let's see, I think I'm gonna I'll do teal washers on this. So last week when I was painting the tier tray, I mentioned I had picked up a plate and a plate cover. So I think it's meant for like cake covers or, you know, any sort of dessert cover, but it's this really pretty white ceramic beehive. And I'm kind of creating all these pieces to decorate around it. It's kind of just been sitting on my shelf for about a year as it waits for me to get inspiration to decorate around it. All right, let's put a second coat on this so we can get our stripes on. And let's see, where's my blow dryer? It's lost under my desk. So excuse the noise. I'm going to blast this real quick. Okay. And I'm just going to make it easy and put the paint right on my tag. Get my brush. I'm just going to push it around. So does anyone have kids in school? And are they in summer mode? A little antsy? My husband works at the middle school, and it's always the last couple weeks are always a very big challenge. Kids just want to be out and done. Okay. So let's paint this stripes, or the stripes on the bee here real quick. And then we will blow dry our tags one more time and paint a design on them. I also have a honeycomb stencil that I might do as well. Still have black in my brush. I didn't wash it very good, but could be that my water is a mess too. But I have this as well that we could incorporate a little bit of that on the tag. Let's see. It doesn't look like I've done much to these little stripes in the camera, but they are yellow. And I might add some white to the wings and maybe add just a little texture there. Some outlining, some highlights, things like that. Okay, we're gonna blast this white tag one more time and make some decisions on what sort of pattern we want to do here. So give me just a second. Sorry for the noise. Okay. So I am going to put a stripe along the bottom, and I want it to be the same on both. So to make that happen, I am going to use some masking tape, and to start with, I'm going to tape them from the back side so they don't move from each other. So I'll start with this one. And then I'm going to line this one up with it and push it down on the tape. And then that way, as I move them around, because I know I will, they're kind of stuck together. And then I'm going to take some more tape and tape the bottom here. I'll just go up the length of the tape, keep it simple, and press that down. And then we'll go up the length of the tape again. So what I'm going to do, instead of pulling out my ruler, I'm just going to use a couple pieces of tape as guides. Okay, so I've got these two here are going to come away or get pulled away here in just a minute. But I'll use those as guides to create the thickness of my top piece here. There we go. And now we have a stripe that's exactly the same thickness as my piece of tape. And I feel that's a little still wet. My white paint is still pretty damp, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't pull any up when I paint. So a quick Tip, if you're painting stripes like this and you're worried about your paint bleeding under the tape, your paint bleeding under the tape, I thought I had said that. You can start by placing your tape and then using white and paint over the seams. That's essentially creating a seal, and anything that would go underneath is going to be the same color as your base color anyways. And then after that dries, you can go and add your color. But that's a quick way to ensure that you're not going to have any bleed marks. And in this case, I'm okay with that. I'm going to try and just stay away from my line as best I can because I know my white's still a little wet. The other thing when you're painting stripes with tape is you really want to rub that tape's edge into your surface so that you get a nice good seal as well. And then one last tip for you when you're painting with tape is don't run your brush over the tape like that against the grain or into the seal, because you're pushing that paint and some of it can come underneath. I always start this way and pull, and that really can help make sure that you're not going to get that color under the tape too. I just love this blue color. Okay. So my white tag definitely has this really bright pop of blue. And the brown is going to need a second coat to get it to that level. I'm just going to layer that on there. It's fairly dry already. I love using acrylic paint because it dries super fast. Okay. All right, so let's pull that tape away and see where we're at. Like I said, hopefully I don't mess up my white too bad. I know it wasn't dry all the way. Okay, not too bad. I did get a little bit of white paint pull away here, but I can touch that up. That's no problem. Okay, so let's just see. I think that's going to be cute. I'm going to do a thin stripe here real quick as well. I'm going to do 2 stripes. So let me dry this real fast. All right, one more stripe. This one's going to be just a really, well, I didn't even get a long enough piece of tape. A really narrow one. And I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay. Grab my brush. Put some blue on there. Rub it just a little bit more, make sure. So a lot of our kits come with the design etched in or scored in is what it's called. And sometimes the letters and the shape are scored in for you so you have proper placement. With one like this, it's such a large tag that you kind of just center it in the tag itself. And depending on how you hang your tags, you might want to push the element to the side, one side or the other. So we didn't score the placement in. But if you ever get a kit that is scored and you want to do something different, but you feel like it's scored in, I'm kind of stuck that way, the backside is not scored. So you can always just flip them around and it's a clean slate. And then you have the flexibility to move your elements and pieces around. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Okay, what do you think? So far, so good. Let's blow dry this real quick and lay our pieces on and see if we need anything else. Okay, so we got our happy here. And put our washers on to see how those are going to look. On pop of color at the top. And then your B, which actually, you know, the tags will be reversed. If you're wanting it to be right reading, you'd want the B tag over here, be happy, right? Or we could go and really have that happy pop on that yellow. Oh my gosh, I think I love that better. And then the B here. All right, do we need a stripe going up this way? I can't decide. Maybe some, just gonna touch up my white here while I'm talking and thinking. Maybe just some honeycomb pattern. Those colors are so amazing together. So, oh, and I didn't fix my Facebook colors. It looks super green, you guys, but it's not. It's really pretty teal. So for the Home Sweet Home tier tray, I used gold, and you kind of catch a glimpse of it. See how pretty that is? I think that would be cute kind of in the corner and maybe at the top, just really light. I think we'll do that. And we will leave the stripe off of the side. I think that would be too much. Okay, one last piece of the puzzle here. So I'm going to use this, and I'll grab some gold out. And let's get my stencil brush. So I want it to be super subtle and super light. I don't want it to steal the show per se. So I'm going to use a very small amount of paint. So it's just a faded honeycomb that you just catch a glimpse of here and there. Let's see there. So I'm going to dip my brush in the paint and then really tap most of that out. So it's just the smallest amount of paint. And then I'm just going to use a circular motion because it's going to be super faded and light. I'm okay if it, let's scoot this over. I'm okay if it bleeds a little bit and isn't perfect. I am just wanting a faded honeycomb pattern. So let's see how this goes. And it's going to be super hard to see right away on the wood piece because the colors are so close together. But as I go over this blue area, I think we're going to see this really pretty pattern pop. Oh yeah, that's really pretty. So let's take it off that and hopefully catch that light just right. You can kind of see it. Like I said, you can really see it right here. But it's just this really pretty faded color. So let's flip it over and do a little bit on the top. And this will kind of tie the tags to match the tiered tray, because I did that on a couple pieces on the tiered tray. And if you didn't have a honeycomb pattern like this, another thing that works amazing to create that honeycomb beehive pattern is bubble wrap. So you kind of paint the back of the bubble wrap and then just stamp it on. And I've seen some really cool art with that as well. So don't feel like you have to have a honeycomb. Just grab some Amazon mailer or some other mailer that has the honeycomb in it, or the bubble wrap. I have quite a few squares of that right at my desk because I like to use that as well. I can really see that. Oh, that is so pretty. So pretty. And then I'm going to take a paint pen or Sharpie, whatever I have in my basket here. And we'll thicken up the bee path lines. They're kind of lost in here, so we'll bring those back to the front. And there we go on that. I think that looks so good. Okay. Let's see. Last time I used my black paint pen, it was dried out. I really need to get a couple more. Let's see if I got any juice left in here. Oh, I got a little bit. Okay. I'm just gonna bring these little dashes, taking my paint pen, going right over those score marks that I can see through my paint. Okay. All right. We've got the happy, we're gonna put here, and the bee here. And I'm gonna grab some white paint and just add a little highlight here and there on my bee. He's kind of plain looking, so let's just add some detail. There we go. All right. Let me know what you guys think. Does it need anything else? Oh, I forgot my washers. All right, now I'm just looking for my glue so we can glue this up. And I don't have my super glue, my super fast drying glue, so we'll use Anita. This works just as well. Oh, and I got way too much glue there, so I'm going to just put these together, transfer a little bit onto this other washer, and there we go. I really have to look into how to fix the color on that video from Facebook. It is really green. I feel like I had the settings dialed in, and then an update happens and you have to redo it. taking my finger and pushing that glue around a little bit and pulling some of it off. I kind of got a little heavy with that glue. Okay. Let's see. There we go. And I think I will put this right there. And I have to remember that this isn't going to set up quite as fast as if I was using super glue. But there we go, guys. There is the Be Happy tags that are available on our website. And I think it's going to be great paired with this tiered tray set. We've got those colors that are the same. We've got this honeycomb pattern that's kind of sprinkled throughout as well. So I'm super jacked to decorate with it. With my new little ceramic, I shouldn't say new, I've had it for a while, but it's going to be new to me because I'll have decorated with it then. Okay. So I hope that that was helpful in giving you ideas on how you can finish a kit from our website. Thanks, Cara. She says it looks pretty. I love the finished work. Thank you so much. I think it turned out pretty great as well. So I hope that helps in giving you some ideas on how you can finish our kits. Thanks for hanging out with me this afternoon. Don't forget, we'll be live on Facebook Wednesday at 7 for our surplus sale. And then Thursday at noon, our craft and chat, we are making a honey pot. We're keeping up with the bee theme for a little bit longer, and then we're going to move into 4th of July. So I hope you guys have a great Monday or the rest of your Monday, and we'll chat with you later. Bye.